Greetings, my dudes, and welcome to this belated patch overview video. I totally forgot I totally forgot doing this, so I guess I might as well do it now real quick. I guess most of you probably won't care and have their own opinion on this, but I got reminded to do that, and because I totally forgot it, and now I might as well do it. It's pretty late, but maybe you enjoy it anyways. So let me just quickly check. All right, everything should be fine. So let's go right from the top to the bottom. Um, yeah, sure. Finally, female voices, but North Korea still won't get them for a sniper team. Ranked map pool, pretty much everything here is totally fine by me. Highway to Seoul for 1 versus 1, amazing. The map is really nice for both 1 versus 1 and 2v2. Battle Ridge to 2v2, yeah, pretty good. Many people or barely anyone plays it on 2v2, but it's actually really nice for 2 versus 2. Much more enjoyable than 3v3 or even 4v4, in my opinion. Punch Bowl added to 1 versus 1 and 2v2. I don't enjoy it on 1 versus 1, but that's not because I think it's necessarily imbalanced. I think the 2 pointers could be made to 1 pointers, but that's a different story. It just doesn't fit my playstyle at all. So I'm not saying it's a terrible choice, but I personally don't like it, but I can see why others. So Faust, for example, really loves it for 1 versus 1. I just pretty much hate it. 2v2 is pretty nice though. Tropic Thunder removed, finally. Chosen Reservoir, Gunboat and Apocalypse removed. Totally fine by me. Apocalypse is not even that bad. I used to hate it, but I think it's actually fairly fine. It's not an amazing map, but it's playable. Gunboat and Chosen are just annoying. Generic grenade launchers cannot shoot at helicopters anymore. Sure, they tended to melt them though. Grenade launchers' ability to make critical effects on vehicles halved. Now I talked to FLX to this, and if you looked at a grenade launcher, you might say, "Hey, it has 2 HE now. That's a buff." The thing is, I don't know if the rate of fire changed, but it looks of it, it did. Yeah, the rate of fire got halved. So basically, the HE output on average is the same as before, but since they basically shoot half as often, their chance to crit an enemy is halved, obviously. In my opinion, it could go further, maybe reduce the HE maybe to 1.5, maybe even 1, but better than no change to grenade launchers. Maybe they are fine now, but in my opinion, they should still be toned down and then make KAV and LVTP 10 points, in my opinion. Um, Infantry flamethrowers damage increased from 0.5 to 0.75. Sure. I mean, they're incredibly deadly now. I still think they aren't that great and worth taking. Maybe in a mech deck, but even then. Vehicle flamethrowers aim time reduced from 2 to 1 second. Yeah, sure. Maybe they're actually useful now. I haven't tested them yet. Airborne shock rifle squads now available to motorize. This mostly helps um, Eastern Bloc or mixed threats. You can't see it on the left now, but here. The Poland shock squads for 15 points are basically mod schützen. I mean, the base ones are Mordschützen, just with a different name. And they used to be only available to airborne, but now motorized as well. And this immensely helps because Poland is one of the few Red 4 nations that have 10-point wheeled transports. And so Eastern Bloc motorized won't be viable suddenly, but it's at least somewhat playable. Dutch German Corps now have airborne deck, sure. Hawks and Chaparral HP increase, that's really nice for them. Though apparently they missed some, like Milan and Fagot are now 10 points. Sure, Softcom removed, really nice. Will hopefully help Red Dragon, especially in the future. BTR 40 autonomy fixed, yeah. SU 100 rate of fire increased, won't help at all. It's still shit. Um, where is it? North Korea and China have it. The problem is, it's compared with the best fire support in the game. It's kind of unfair, but it shows the point. No, Yugoslavia. Jackson. Or the ASU 85. I guess let's put in the ASU 85. Which is basically just as good. Now, first of all, you have 1 ransom minute less. Sure, big deal, you might say, but you also pay 5 points more. You might say, hey, I get 2 more armor. That seems fair. I mean, yeah, it kind of seems fair, but let's say for 40 points, you get 4 ASUs versus 3 ASU 100s. That's already 33 rounds per minute versus 21. That's a big deal. You also only have the enemy also only has 3 targets to shoot at rather than 4 with the ASU, and if they have AGGMs or super heavies, they will die in one shot anyway. So the 2 armor barely makes a difference. The 2 extra armor, and basically pay 5 points for nothing that you will never need. Then again, for 10 points and 4 armor, the thing might be really abused as a meat shield or like just spammed. So you probably can't make it 10 points. But you see the issue here. You either make it basically unplayable or you make it OP as fuck. So that's the problem. And that's why Red Dragon most likely will never have incredibly good fire support. And that's why they need incredibly good infantry, which they don't have at the moment. But that's another story. All the MI4s got their rocket loadouts changed and have the S5s now. It seems to me, or it seems to be a realism change, that they never carried the S8s. It's a huge nerf, because that's a huge difference. Yeah, they're pretty much worthless. Maybe not worthless, but a lot worse. BTRT, grenade loadout reduced, sure, T80A. Might actually be a pretty good tanks now, even outside of armored. Especially because of the availability. Is there any? I guess there's the T64 BM. Let's see. For the same price, you get a better autocannon, worse optics. Better ATGM, I'm sorry. Though the T64 BM is not played, so maybe the T80A will. Kinda doubt it, but it's not a shit tank. MiG-21 BIS ECM increased. Sure, that's a good play now. VP has only 4 missiles now. AGMs, I'm not sure whether it's good or bad. I don't care that much. Yeah, Hyundai Elites have now correct MG. Concourse has 8 missiles now, so I mean, it's still 45 points. It might be better now, but I don't know. MiG-23 ML price fixed. John Maho 4 brought back and has now Stralas. These 2 Strela tanks North Korea got. Don't think they will be very strong. In armor, they might be nice due to like having them on lead, like they will actually hit something. And yeah, it's not a big deal. It's more of a meme. I don't know. It's nice, but it won't really help Red Dragon much. It's something like nice to have, but far from mandatory um, or really helpful. WC551 now has 2 front armor. Should probably be 20 points now, but that's a huge buff. The difference between 2 and 1 armor is huge, as you might know. BGC 95 speed increase and the missile rate of fire increased really nice. The only thing it really needs now, in my opinion, is 2 front armor. A spag with only 1 front armor is really it's really easy to kill, and spags usually have to be at the front line, maybe besides the Tunguska, or like really literally at the front line and not slightly behind it. So as that front armor buff could be nice because it costs 70 points and it's not cheap. C9A, sure. SC27SK is now actually a somewhat decent plane. Price reduced. You only have 4 long range missiles because you never need 6, and the available veterans increase. So it's usable now. Not great, but usable. JH7 anti-gem plane, price reduced, sure. Still shit. CDC, they basically got tons of new light tanks. Since the left part of the screen is cut out for you. Basically, they got these 2 new, and CDC 88 got renamed to CDC 80. They're nice, but again, nothing too mandatory. 1 second. I had to sneeze there, excuse me. Alright, moving on. Poland, so-called price reduced. Sure. It was pretty good before, now it's like really good actually. BMP1, oh, sorry for that. BMP1, 15 points now. Was really necessary. 3 front armor is a huge deal. Alternatively, in my opinion, you could have just where is it? Reduced accuracy by 5% and reduced AP to 10. That way it can only 2-shot 2 armor, but now it can 2-shot 3 and 4 armor vehicles, which in my opinion is quite a big deal. Like I talk to others, some say you don't buy it to kill vehicles, you only buy it to kill infantry, and that's kind of true. But especially against something like Sneska or some any other IFVs, it actually made a big difference. And the Grom being autoloaded is also quite a big deal, which I think a lot of people underestimate. But yeah, 15 points is an alternative nerf. Maybe it's basically dead now, but at 10 points it was really too good. BMP2 20 points now. I think it was necessary to bring it in line. Um, Especially considering which infantry came it in. And with the accuracy buff, it really got a pretty good autocannon with a fairly recent buff. T72 S1 and mechanized now. Sure, whatever. MI35 now has S8s, which is really nice. I I asked for this for quite a while already because that would basically make it something between the Mi-24P and the Mi-24VP when it used F8 missiles, some sort of fusion, I guess you could say. I really like the change. Makes it a lot better. The Czechs have the Su-7 seaplane. It comes on at 2 on veteran and 3 on rookie. It's the worst seaplane, and it could actually be quite a bit cheaper if you compare to the Israel Ayid, which has 2 seat missiles, better ECM. Yeah, yes, it has less range. It has AP, the AP doesn't matter, but really, it has more. It has 2, which is a big deal, and it has more ECM. I think it could be even 65 or at least 70. Nonetheless, it's not unplayable. I think literally every seaplane is playable, just because they all can pretty much one-shot every seaplane, every radar um, AAPs, and there's not that big of a gap between the worst seed missile and the best seed missile as when you compare the worst ATGM and the best ATGM. M103 armor increase, sure. Helicopter price decreases, sure. Fine. Nothing special. Lynx 3 is pretty good now. And 36 has 1 top armor, sure. K1 optics improved to medium is actually really nice. Peace Pheasant veterans increased. I feel like in every patch they put in a literally completely worthless NSEC buff just to have an NSEC buff. I think in the last patch I also had a similar a useless buff. MR290, that's really nice because it was really strong. RAM TMC price reduced, it's a Recon AA unit. This one. Nun removed from Shiatet and Sanhanim. That was really necessary because especially the Shiatet, who were able to bring them in 5-point jeeps with 150 road speed in a mech deck, which was really stupid in my opinion. Basme Chopar veterancy increased, price increase, and veterancy set to that of basically every elite ASF, let's call it that way, or third or fourth gen, I don't even know. Like has the same veterancy as let's say Eurofighter or Rafale. I can understand it. It has 70% accuracy on the long range missiles, only 40% ECM, but that makes it up, so I think it's fine. Barrack also got a change, only 2 on Harden now, and not 3 on Rookie and 2 on Veteran, which is really nice as well, and price increased. Perna's price increased by 5, yeah, won't matter, but it's still one of the best planes in the game. France. The VBL Mistral comes now at 6 per card. You can't get them upvetted though, so 6 at regulars, what you get. It's a nice change. AMX 10 RC, the tank and the reconversion, both got armor buff, which is nice. The Recon now has 3, the tank 4, which helps them, especially Recon 1, to survive autocannon better. And they both got the rate of fire increase to 9, which is really nice, with no price increase. Now the tank version is gonna be really strong in openers, I think. And the reconversion now can actually deal with stuff like BRDM3s, where it's used to lose against. I think both are very good now. But I would have to test them first, but I'm fairly certain, especially because they didn't get price nerfed. The ERC Sagaye. I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. Rate of fire increase to 10, it's garbage. It's 25 points, 1 armor, it dies to his knees. It could have 60 rounds per minute, and okay, with 60 it would be Blade, but you get the point. It could have 20 and it would still be garbage. Morpher always likes to compare it with Asado, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. You get 2 armor, which is a huge deal, and double the rate of fire. With an autoloader and even stabilizer, and medium optics even. And that's a huge deal. I think the ERC could be 15 points. With 1 armor, because it's just a huge deal. Having only 1 armor, instead of 2 or more. The Brennus got optics increase. Yeah, I think the Brennus here could be actually be fairly nice now. The only problem, even if it had 5% stabilize, it would be quite a bit better because that would enable it to aim before having to stop the tank. But I think it's actually fairly decent now. And it actually, I have to admit, it looks pretty cool. And this is a custom skin if you don't know. But even without it, the ERA or whatever that is, I'm pretty sure it's ERA. Looks actually pretty cool. I have to admit. I'm usually not a fan of how the French tanks look, but the Brennus really looks nice. Super Attendar turn rate decreased. Yeah, sure. Helps the survivability a bit. The Tigers, but both got 10 point buffs, which is really nice, I think. I think the Tiger Head was playable before. The Tiger Head was just for only former strengths. But I think both are actually very viable choices now. Not in 1 versus 1 necessarily, but at least in team games they are both pretty good now. Peace Ryan got a veterancy increase, sure it's still garbage. And last but not least, Mitsubishi Jumat 25 points now. At 20 points it was really good, especially with the missile speed buff. So at 25 points, I'm not saying it's overpriced, but it probably deserves that price. And that's already about it. Tell me what you think about the patch. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.